City of Stevens Point Common Council meeting, recorded January 21st, 2019.
At 7 o'clock, we'll call the regular Common Council meeting to order. Clerk, could I get a roll, please?
Jennings.
Here.
Shore.
Here.
Nebel.
Here.
Oberstadt.
Here.
Johnson.
Present.
Slowinski.
Here.
Kneebone.
Here.
Dugan.
Here.
McComb.
Here.
Phillips.
Here.
Morrow.
Here.
Everyone is present. If you would join me in standing for our salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First of all, I would like to introduce to you Cade Pope. Cade has been shadowing me today and tomorrow. He is currently a student at Drake University and has some ties to the area. So he's had all of the excitement that goes along with the job and the boredom as well. A couple of things I'd like to talk about. First of all, we have a couple of meetings coming up that I want the public to be aware of. We're holding a public information meeting to present the 2019 Sidewalk Continuation Project this Wednesday. And that will be on the far east side of the city in the vicinity of the Holiday Inn and Aldi's, where they'll be connecting the existing hotels and the senior living community at Brookdale. That public information meeting will be at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, January 23rd at the community room at the police department, which is 933 Michigan Avenue. Next week, we'll be holding another public information meeting to present the Whiting Avenue resurfacing project. That's Wednesday, January 30th. That will be in the cafeteria at Ben Franklin Junior High, and will also start at 6 o'clock. The bicycle and pedestrian counts and summary. We were scheduled to have a presentation in December. That didn't work out because of scheduling at the presenter. We had it scheduled for this month, and talking with the presenter, they thought, because this is the third or fourth year we've been doing this, that it would be okay just to send out the information. That information was sent to all of the alders in the form of an email, along with the summary. That information is also available on the city website at stevenspoint.com, so you'll be able to see the exact counts and a summary of what those volunteers did for the bicycle and pedestrian counts back in September of 2018. Again, that's at stevenspoint.com, and you should be able to get that information. Let's see, last week we talked about, and we're going to be talking today about the 15-mile-an-hour speed reduction in front of the Mead Park on West Whitney. I want people to know that we've also been talking about internally some other control solutions, potential solutions. Those are going to include additional enforcement, which is typically done anyway anytime a speed limit's changed. But the chief assures me that they're going to be providing additional enforcement once it's park season, April, hopefully March, but starting in spring. And the director is also looking at putting in speed bumps or speed tables. He's investigating that, but those are set to be installed in spring as well. Neither of those two actions are going to need council approval. Those are done administratively. But I want people to know, because I know there's been some citizens asking, and the alderperson's been asking about what we'll be able to do. So I wanted the citizens to know that we are on it, and those speed tables or speed bumps, whatever happens to work, will be installed in spring, along with the additional enforcement to hopefully make that area a little bit safer. Probably the biggest thing that everybody's been talking about is Shopko's announcement. They will be closing the store here in Stevens Point, as well as the one in Plover. If you follow any sort of social media, it's been all over suggestions and, in some cases, almost panic about what to do. But I want to remind people, first of all, the city is aware of it, very much so. We have been talking to Shopko over the past several years about their facility, and we are exploring options, should they come up, to repurpose that area. Shopko owns the building, so they would have to be a big part of that, obviously. They would have to want to do whatever it is that we choose. But for those people who use that area for shopping, I want to remind people that you can get food, bread, butter, milk, vegetables, those sorts of things at several locations downtown, including the Market on Strongs, the Co-op. Main Grain has baked goods as well. You have a pet store downtown for all your pet needs with a companion shop. There are clothing stores, gift stores, so there are plenty of stores to buy your things downtown if you still need to. And if those don't work for you, I'm not sure about Cops, but I know Triggs delivers groceries. So you can just call them up and they have a delivery service. They would be able to help you if you can't get what you need there. And finally, the city has a bus service that can take you out as far as Crossroads if you need to get your other department store type items. So I hope that we can find a solution for everyone, and I want people to know that the city is working on possible uses for that area right now. Now, the council, of course, will have to likely consider whatever it is, but we're still very early in the game. We're not even sure what the impact is going to be yet. So we are working on it. And believe it or not, I think that's it. So at this point, we will move on to item number 3. Persons who wish to address the mayor and council on a specific agenda item other than a public hearing should register their request at this time. Those who wish to address the common council during a public hearing are not required to identify themselves until the public hearing is declared open by the mayor. Anyone wishing to speak on an agenda item should have one of these filled out and handed up here. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on any agenda item before us tonight that has not filled out this sheet of paper? Okay, seeing none, then we will move on to item number 4. Persons who wish to address the mayor and council for up to 3 minutes on a non-agenda item, and we have Citizen Mary McComb.
Mary McComb, 2100 Elk Street in the beautiful 9th District of Stevens Point. I'm speaking as a citizen who is running for re-election as alderperson for District 9. I'm going to say a little bit about what I've done as an alder/citizen here. I have worked very closely with Alder Shore, especially on I can't say it, but I can do it. Environmental sustainability. The work we did got Stevens Point a status as a Green Tier Legacy Community, and this is a process and a reporting system that helps us monitor our sustainability as a city, and we've got some new exciting things coming up with that. I have been all along supportive of infill development in Stevens Point, and it has been wonderful to see many of those goals definitely in progress with new housing developments and hopefully a couple new affordable housing developments in District 9. So that's been very rewarding. It's been really enjoyable working with the citizens in District 9, especially the West Side for some reason. I love going over to the West Side. But we have talked a lot about speeding on the West Side, and we've talked about alleys on the West Side and water on the West Side. And it has been an absolute pleasure to talk with people. And there was one more thing, but for some reason I'm nervous and I've forgotten. So thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you. Next up, we have Alderperson Kathy Dugan with a library update.
Okay. As the city's City Council's liaison to the Portage County Public Library Board, I'd like to give everyone a quick overview of library activity in 2018. Stevens Point's downtown library increased circulation of materials in 2018. Books are still the most popular material to check out. DVD videos for adults are the second most popular. Overdrive digital materials are really well liked. Checkout is up 26% overall. And checkout of e-audiobooks is particularly good. It's up 40% since 2017. It's amazing. PC computer use at the library is down, but wireless connections are way up. More patrons are bringing their own devices, smartphones, iPads, and they're using the library's internet connection. Graphic novels have become popular checkouts, including those for adults, as well as for young adults and juveniles. Board games are being checked out. They were first available in 2017, interest was strong in 2018, and now more games will be added to the collection in 2019. The Stevens Point Library Building hosted a number of staff-organized programs for patrons in 2018. Also, groups and organizations reserved library rooms to hold their own programs. The annual training day for library staff was led by Stevens Point police officers, Tony Zableski and Joe Kramer. The 4-hour program covered safety and active shooter situations for all the public library employees. Finally, the Stevens Point Library Building, which the city owns, got a public restroom update, new dry eraser boards in the 3 study rooms upstairs, and new windows on the south side of the building. And I'm pleased that I'm appointed to this liaison position, non-voting, but congratulations to the Portage County Library for successful 2018. And if anybody wants more information, they've got a good website. It's POCO, for Portage County Library.org.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And that exhausts the people wishing to speak on item number 4. With that, we move on to our consent agenda, item number 5. The consent agenda is before you. President Johnson?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to pull one item from the consent agenda. If we could look to the public minutes and actions of the Public Protection Committee meeting, I'd like to pull item 3, license list.
Okay. And is that a motion to approve the rest?
Sorry. Yeah, ask him. Yeah, that's a motion to approve the consent agenda minus that one item.
Okay, seconded by Alderperson Morrow. So the motion before you is to approve the consent agenda with the item for license list under Public Protection Committee pulled for further discussion. We do have one person that wished to speak. If there are any questions regarding the Zenoff Park project, but I don't think there are. So we will move on then for a vote. Again, the motion is to approve the consent agenda items with that one particular item pulled for further discussion. A roll call vote, please.
Morrow.
Aye.
Phillips.
Aye.
McComb.
Aye.
Dugan.
Aye.
Kneebone.
Aye.
Slawinski.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Oberstadt.
Aye.
Nabel.
Aye.
Short.
Aye.
Jennings.
Aye.
11-0.
11-0, that is approved. The item that was pulled for further discussion, I will turn the floor over to the city attorney.
So if you recall at the Public Protection Committee, there was an appeal on a denial or recommended denial of a operator's license for alcohol sales. And that appeal was denied. However, since then, there's been some internal discussions regarding the statutes. And basically, what I'm recommending is that you grant that license. The reason being that under the applicable statutes, licensure of any type, whether it's a state agency, local municipality, for any type of occupation, that can only be denied if the circumstances of the conviction are, quote, directly related to the circumstances of the employment, or if the offense is what's called an exempt offense. And if you look at the list of exempt offenses, you'll find certain very serious crimes, that mostly relate to life and bodily security, that sort of thing. Without getting into the absolute specifics in this case, the conviction that the appellant has is not within that list of exempt offenses and does not directly relate to the circumstances of the employment. So essentially asking for you to reverse that decision and grant the license.
And our policy had stated such. This law went into effect in, I believe it was September of 2017. We will be changing our policies. Actually, we've already changed our policies in that regard to comply. So I'd be looking for a motion to grant the appeal, and I forget the appellant's name.
Jajeski.
One more time.
Bonnie Jean Jajeski.
Bonnie Jean Jajeski. You don't have to say it again if you don't need to, but I would be looking for a motion to grant that appeal. Alderperson Nabel moves, seconded by Alderperson Johnson, or President Johnson, to grant the appeal. And all those in favor of granting the appeal signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that is approved. The clerk will contact her tomorrow. All righty. Item number 6 is a resolution designating May 1st, 2019 as World Migration Bird Day. Normally, we would have Dr. Kent Hall talking to us about World Migration Bird Day and Bird City USA status, but he was unable to attend tonight due to some other issues that he had going on. So, because this is a normal resolution, I would ask for your consideration in approving that. Alderperson Phillips?
I'd like to move approval of the World Migratory Bird Day resolution.
Thank you. Seconded by Alderperson Jennings. Discussion? Dr. Hall will be coming to give us a presentation when hopefully we receive the Bird City Award again. All right. All those in favor of the I'm sorry. We need a roll call vote on that, please.
Jennings.
Aye.
Shore.
Aye.
Nabel.
Aye.
Oberstadt.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Slowinski.
Aye.
Kneebone.
Aye.
Dugan.
Aye.
McComb.
Aye.
Phillips.
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
11-0, that is approved. 11-0, sorry. Item number 7 is an ordinance amendment for traffic, 9.05, the 15-mile-per-hour speed limit near Mead Park, Cash Playground, and no parking on Brawley Street, Reserve Street, and Phillips as outlined. Alderperson Jennings?
I have a comment. Last Monday during Public Works Committee, I asked Director Badoon a question about street design related to this, and Mayor, you cut off that discussion and did not allow your director to address the question. I should have at that moment called point of order and allowed the city attorney to address the issue. Amanda Fish, as a public resident in that area, spoke to this issue during that meeting, and then later she wrote her frustration that that discussion was not allowed. So now I would like Director Badoon, our Director of Public Works, to please explain or discuss in some way why the street design itself is exacerbating these issues. And as already has been stated, speed limit changing that sign is sort of a first step, but will have limited effect. But I would like the director to address this.
Director, if you have any comments regarding why the street design works or doesn't work, or any comments relating to the safety in front of that Cash Playground in front of West Whitney, go ahead.
Certainly. We're definitely going to have to take a better look at it. Cursorily, we've kind of reviewed it as far as it's not on the near-term plan as far as any sort of service replacement stuff, so we're not necessarily looking at any major changes at this time. We'll delve into that deeper. However, we do feel that part of it is, as you otherwise enter through there, driving through there, it is kind of a rather, there's a few trees there and some shrubs, you've got some parked cars, but essentially it's kind of a wide open area there, which probably just doesn't distract anyone. There's not enough almost distraction from people to think they need to slow down. So I think with the speed bumps as a near-term solution will definitely help with the situation, but we're looking to see what else may be done with that. Especially for a one-way street, potentially, narrowing that up in the future is probably something we want to look at doing. Just to kind of direct that, I know part of the issue too is people talking about people going the wrong way as well, which the speed bumps won't correct. But that's just something else that we're going to need to look at in the future. I do think that with additional enforcement and the speed change, we should hopefully see some improvement.
Great, thank you. Okay, the motion before you is to approve the ordinance change. If you are in favor of the motion, you'll vote yes. If you are opposed, you'll vote. Oh, we don't even have a motion? I'm sorry. Motion by McComb, seconded by Alderperson Nabel. Now, if you're in favor of the motion, you'll vote yes. Opposed, you'll vote no. Alder Shore, do you have a comment?
Yeah, just as a matter of labeling, I think that some of this parking is on Portage, yes?
Director? We pulled it right off of.
Correct. Yeah, there were several things there that went in front of the board last week, in addition to the speed change with the parking. So there are three corners that were others cleaning up within the new metered area around the university, just to provide for additional visibility there. And then there's the one mid-block one on Brawley, which has somehow become a conflict point that we just wanted to eliminate some parking there next to the Justice Works driveway, just to ensure that, to eliminate any potential future problems that have been occurring there.
And the details of the ordinance are, of course, all correct.
56,
But,
yep.
but Portage just simply isn't mentioned on the agenda item. That's all I'm saying.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Thank you for pointing that out. Okay, clerk, would you please call the roll?
Morrow.
Aye.
Phillips.
Aye.
McComb.
Aye.
Dugan.
Aye.
Kneebone.
Aye.
Slawinski.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Oberstadt.
Aye.
Nabel.
Aye.
Shore.
Aye.
Jennings.
Aye.
11-0, that is approved. Item number 8 is an ordinance amendment regarding zoning, 23.01 sub 14 for parking lot and driveway surfacing for specific uses and zoning districts. What are your wishes? President Johnson?
Motion to approve the zoning ordinance.
Thank you. Seconded by Alderperson Dugan. Discussion there? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Jennings.
Aye.
Shore.
Aye.
Nabel.
Aye.
Oberstadt.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Slawinski.
Aye.
Kneebone.
Aye.
Dugan.
Aye.
McComb.
Aye.
Phillips.
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
11-0, that is approved. Item number 9 is an ordinance amendment for subdivision control, 20.02 sub 1, maximum number of parcels allowed to be created via certified survey map for commercial, multifamily, and industrial zone properties. Alderperson Phillips.
Move approval.
Thank you. Seconded by Alderperson Morrow. Discussion there. Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Morrow.
Aye.
Phillips.
Aye.
McComb.
Aye.
Dugan.
Aye.
Kneebone.
Aye.
Slawinski.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Oberstadt.
Aye.
Nabel.
Aye.
Shore.
Aye.
Jennings.
Aye.
11-0, that's approved. Item number 10 is a resolution for a conditional use permit at 2419 North Point Drive to construct restrooms, pavilion, and parking lot expansion at the Schmeekley Reserve Visitors Center with the parcels identified in the agenda item. Alderperson Morrow?
Yes, I move to approve the conditional use permit for 2419 North Point Drive to construct restrooms at the pavilion and lot expansion at the Schmeekley Reserve.
Thank you. Seconded by President Johnson. Discussion. Alder Morrow?
This is in my area. I think this is really a need. I know when they have the various walks there during the fall for like the Halloween walk and lightning bug and so on. There are cars that are backed up there on both sides of the street. It's a great, it's just a great venue for the family to go out and for the kids, and I'm really excited about this.
Great. Any other comments? Okay. The motion is to approve the conditional use. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Jennings.
Aye.
Shore.
Aye.
Nabel.
Aye.
Oberstadt.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Slawinski.
Aye.
Kneebone.
Aye.
Dugan.
Aye.
McComb.
Aye.
Phillips.
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
11-0, that is adopted. Item number 11 is on page 67. That's a resolution for another conditional use permit at 925 Second Street to expand a tavern with the parcel numbers identified in the agenda item. Everybody jumps at once. Alderperson Phillips?
Move approval of that
Okay.
resolution.
Thank you. Seconded by Alderperson Morrow. Discussion there. Alder Jennings?
I just have a question for the director that was not brought up during the discussion of this plan.
Go ahead and ask your question.
I'm just wondering if facade features and materials will be determined by your office, and will they be
I
compliant
believe-
with Historic District?
Yeah, they'll have to comply, but they'll let the director elaborate.
So the facade features, if you look at condition number 8, a similar brick found on the primary structure shall be incorporated into the facade. We would ensure that a similar brick is incorporated and that the materials would match, but not necessarily meet historic standards.
Sorry,
because it's out of the district, but
I didn't mean district.
item or condition number 8 would take care of that situation.
Okay, any other questions for the director? Alder Nabel?
Thank you. Director Ostrowski, I just wondered if you could tell me, So at our last meeting, did it go through that there would be, it's written into this recommendation of putting something up for the neighbor that has her house hit?
So we added condition number 11, where the barrier would be installed.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Yep. Alder Dugan.
Another question for the director. Was this construction begun before they had permit?
It was.
Have they been cited for that?
They will be paying double permit fees as part of the penalty provisions.
I'm glad
Which
to
is
hear that.
standard.
Thank you.
They immediately stopped once they knew, so.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
Any other questions? Okay, we got a motion and a second to approve the conditional use. Clerk, please call the roll.
Morrow. Phillips.
Aye.
McComb.
Aye.
Dugan.
Aye.
Kneebone.
Aye.
Slawinski.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Oberstadt.
Aye.
Nabel.
Aye.
Shore.
Aye.
Jennings.
Aye.
11-0, that's approved. Item number 12 is a resolution for a conditional use permit at 3017 Business Park Drive and 5500 Clems Way to construct an addition to their facility within the Wellhead Protection Overlay District. We do have a representative from the applicant here if there are any questions. Alders, what are your wishes? Alder Slawinski?
Move approval of the stated resolution.
Thank you. Seconded by Alderperson McComb. Discussion there? Hearing none. Clerk, please call the roll.
Jennings.
Aye.
Shore.
Aye.
Nabel.
Aye.
Oberstadt.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Slawinski.
Aye.
Kneebone.
Aye.
Dugan.
Aye.
McComb.
Aye.
Phillips.
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
11-0, that is approved. On page 78, you will find item number 13, which is a resolution authorizing us to apply for a WEC CDI grant for 1017 3rd Street. Alder Oberstadt.
Move approval?
Okay, seconded by Alderperson Jennings. Discussion there? President Johnson.
If you could, or if someone could, the acronym so that the public is aware what the acronym means.
Absolutely. It is Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation. And the CDI director, you're going to have to help me out with this one, Community Development Investment.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you. Yeah, it's always nice to have the full verbiage on
It
the
is.
agenda so everyone's aware.
Okay. Alder Phillips.
Is there a dollar amount involved in this, or not?
I don't believe so, but Director, you can address that. It's not a specific dollar amount.
So the maximum award for that grant is $250,000. The match component would be part of the project cost on the Lullaby site.
Thank you.
So up to. Okay. Any other questions? Hearing none, we have a motion and a second to approve. Clerk, please call the roll.
Morrow.
Aye.
Phillips.
Aye.
McComb.
Aye.
Dugan.
Aye.
Kneebone.
Aye.
Slawinski.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Oberstadt.
Aye.
Nabel.
Aye.
Shore.
Aye.
Jennings.
Aye.
11-0, that's adopted. On page 79, you will find an extraterritorial subdivision plat review for a new subdivision called Hidden Brook, located at 1108 Woodview Drive in the town of Hull. Director, you want to brief us on this a bit?
Typically, extraterritorial plats are not included as a separate agenda item. They're under the consent agenda. We did include this as a separate agenda item because they did make a change from the Plan Commission to the council meeting. They did put in the change that we had recommended as staff to extend that right-of-way towards the northeast. So that new plat is included in your packet.
Okay. Council, what are your wishes? Alderperson Kneebone.
Move approval?
Thank you. Seconded by Alderperson Shore. Discussion. Alder Morrow.
I just wanted to confirm that this plat is not, is a lot further north than the one that we had discussed in the past that was under.
It is. Director, anything you want to add in regards to the location?
Exercise.
wouldn't say it's necessarily too much further north. I think the difference with this one relates to the wetlands and its location. This one is nearly completely surrounded by wetlands, although the buildable area is not included in the wetland area. But the wetlands cause a concern here, and that's where you get one of the issues where we wanted to add that additional right-of-way to go around the wetlands as they had indicated in the map. So really the difference with this one is, one, it's in wetland area, which probably warrants a little bit larger lots in order for the buildable area. And then two, it's not within our wellhead protection zone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Alder Dugan.
I just want to make a comment. I won't be voting in favor of this. I'm glad that they have complied with the right-of-way request, and I'm happy that it's not in our wellhead protection area as another one that brought to us was. But I just, in good conscience, cannot vote for a kind of a sprawl subdivision near wetlands.
Thank you. Okay. We have a motion to approve. It's been seconded. If you are in favor, you'll vote yes. If you are opposed, you'll vote no, and the clerk will call the roll.
Jennings.
No.
Shore.
Aye.
Nabel.
Aye.
Oberstadt.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Slowinski.
Aye.
Kneebone.
No.
Dugan.
No.
McComb.
Aye.
Phillips.
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
8-3. 8-3, the motion is adopted. Next item is on page 80 of your packet, and developers agreement between TDS Telecom LLC for extension of a commercial fiber optic network. Alder Morrow?
I move to approve the development agreement between TDS and TDS LLC for the extension of commercial fiber optic network.
Thank you. Seconded by President Johnson. Discussion. Alder Dugan?
Yeah, I had a constituent ask a couple of questions about this and was delighted that this was happening,
okay.
but thinking maybe it wasn't happening in his area, in District A, and yes, it is. But I had some good email conversations with the Utilities Director and also the Public Works Director, and perhaps they could just say a few words to make this clear that it will be across the city, et cetera, et cetera.
I can tell you that. The contract specifically states that it will be citywide.
Right.
And none of the fees will be returned until that fiber optic network is built out throughout the entire city.
Yeah. My constituent was concerned that we needed sidewalks to put the line under.
No.
And he was worried about District 8, which doesn't have a lot of sidewalks. So anyway, those two gentlemen over there did a nice job of explaining it to him and to me.
Sure. So to reiterate, some of this, most of the infrastructure will be subsurface, bored, within the city right-of-way that exists already.
Yeah.
Some of it, where they can't bore, will be above ground, but a majority of it will be within city right-of-way. You don't need sidewalks or anything. That all goes
Right, in the ground.
The right-of-way.
And that is above ground will be probably on WPS or city lines.
It would be on the power poles.
Power poles,
Yeah.
yep.
In most cases. I can't think of any reason why it wouldn't.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's good for people to have those details since it's going to be going in front of their homes, so
Good.
thanks.
Okay. Alder Morrow.
I also wanted to reiterate that as well. I had several folks who are really excited about this, for what this could mean for not just them, but also for the city as well.
Thank you. Okay. If you are in favor, you'll vote yes. If you're opposed, you'll vote no, and the clerk will call the roll.
Morrow.
Aye.
Phillips.
Aye.
McComb.
Aye.
Dugan.
Aye.
Kneebone.
Aye.
Slowinski.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Oberstadt.
Aye.
Abel.
Aye.
Shore.
Aye.
Jennings.
Aye.
11-0, that's adopted. And the last item on our agenda is a sad one. Discussion and possible action on a procedure to address the anticipated District 4 Common Council vacancy. As you probably know, you should know, the Alder for District 4, Alder Oberstadt, is going to be resigning her position on council effective April 30th. The council will be charged with filling that replacement until a different time. So, well, it was included in your packet. You have a couple of options. One of them is do nothing. We all strongly recommend against that. The ordinance allows for the council to appoint the replacement. You can appoint that replacement until the November election or the following April 2020 election, which is when the seat would have come up anyway. City Attorney Beveridge, anything you want to add on that?
No, that pretty much covers the options. Initially, we had thought that they were a little different than that, but the statutes work out as you explained. So,
let's see. Let's start with Alderperson Oberstadt.
Right. It's like, it was automatic. Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor.
Don't make this goodbye yet.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Okay.
I'm going to have a speech, and there will probably be tears.
Bring tissues.
I set my resignation date out 90 days so that the council would have some time to make a decision and so that the public would have, a chance to get the word around and get their materials together as far as finding interested people. I have had several neighbors contact me that are interested in the position, so I'm looking forward to getting back to them with further instructions as to how we're going to go about this. But part of the reason why I waited rather than running out and taking care of my son is because I think that filling this position as long as I physically can would make it easier for us to, I should say you, to appoint someone rather than holding a special election. I would really prefer not to cost the taxpayers any additional money in holding a special election to fill my seat. That obviously was not the intent of my resignation. So hopefully by sticking around a little bit longer, you guys can feel comfortable with if you choose to appoint someone. And as a reminder, that was how I got this role 4 years ago. So it does work out occasionally.
It does. Let's see. We had President Johnson and Alder Morrow. Did you have your hand up?
Yes.
Okay. President Johnson, then Alder Morrow.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Alder Oberstadt, for the consideration that you've put into the timing. I appreciate that. And actually, the timing is kind of aligns with how I got to this body when Alderperson Brian Van Stippen submitted his resignation almost about the same time as did you. And of course, I applied and I was accepted. That was awesome, and I still appreciate that. I enjoy this job very much. And I got to serve the term until the next year, and of course, and then ran again. So it seems that we've set a pattern between District 4 and District 5 that I'm hoping we can use as a template.
Good. Alderperson Morrow.
What I was going to say was I would be for having someone to be. Just like what Heidi had, she was appointed to her seat, and that worked out really well. As opposed to having another election, it worked out really well for her and for Melissa as well, and that's what I would ask for.
Okay. Alderperson Phillips, then Alderperson Shore.
I move that we use option 2 to fill the vacancy in the 4th District.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a second there? Second by Alderperson Oberstadt. She had her hand up second, but I'm going to give it to her just because. It's her district.
Thanks, Mayor.
Okay, so we still have some comments. Alder Shore?
Yeah, just in the spirit of making sure that we've got everything clear. Regardless, there will be an election for this seat in April of 2020.
Yes.
Right, so whether we had a special election in November or not.
Correct.
That will still take place, right?
That is correct. Okay. So the motion before you is to choose option 2, which is after Alderperson Oberstadt resigns April 30th, we'll schedule a special council meeting. We will solicit applicants. Well, it's public now, so they could start now, but I would say we'll compile those a week or so before. Maybe even 2 weeks before, get those out to the alders for the special meeting. And at that time, the applicants will be encouraged to show up at the council meeting. Council will have the opportunity for questions and answers, basically an interview process. And then at that special council meeting, this body will decide on whom to appoint for the remainder of Alderperson Oberstadt's term, which will expire in April of 2020. Does everybody understand what's happening? Okay. With that, clerk, would you please call the roll?
Jennings.
Aye.
Shore.
Aye.
Nabel.
Aye.
Oberstadt.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Slowinski.
Aye.
Kneebone.
Aye.
Dugan.
Aye.
McComb.
Aye.
Phillips.
Aye.
Morrow.
Okay, before I declare that approved, I want to point out a few things, and the city attorney, I think, would be of the same mindset. Because there are several months, it's likely that the alderpersons will have opportunities to speak to some of those people who are interested in that position. I want to remind you of open meetings laws. You may not discuss those candidates amongst yourselves with any other alders prior to that open meeting. You need to follow open meetings laws. And I know you're going to do that. So anything to add there, City Attorney?
No.
With that, the motion to hold a appoint and then hold the regular election in April of 2020 is approved, and we are adjourned at 7:40.
Wow.
A video of this meeting is available for viewing on the city's website, stevenspoint.com/videos.